I'm in Adobe Illustrator right now, and I'm going to vectorize this asset. This is for those who are designers who are already comfortable with Adobe Illustrator and you want to be able to vectorize your idea or your rough sketch. So I'm going to go ahead and start to begin, and I'm not going to get into too many details because then I'll start to be teaching a design class and not a freelance class. So I'm going to show you a little time lapse of all the steps it took to kind of make this a reality and make it our finished logo. Of course, we haven't applied our color palette yet. We're going to be doing that next. A little trick when you vectorize your sketch, or you make it kind of a real vector logo object, is like to bring in my rough sketch. It could be a JPEG, a PNG. You can export it from anything. You can take a picture with your phone if you sketched it on a traditional paper or pen and paper, and you can bring it in. And I like to put it on its own layer. And I also like to reduce the transparency a little bit so that when I do start to sketch with it or sketch on top of it, it doesn't try to get in the way when I sketch on top. So I'm going to reduce the transparency. I'm going to go ahead and lock that layer so I don't accidentally move it. I'm creating a new layer to go ahead and vectorize everything. So I'm going to recreate everything, use circles, shapes, the pen tool to draw and put the type on here as well. Fonts or typefaces can make or break your logo. For example, notice these two logos using different typefaces. One is a bolder sans serif, while the other one has lighter strokes and thinner lines and has serifs, those little details at the ends of the letters. It's amazing how just a small font change in a logo changes its mood and style. The serif typeface looks more high-end and elegant, while the bolder type choice is more approachable and modern. I have included a downloadable resource called the Font Styles Guide. It'll go over some great font type or font choices for certain styles you want to set. For example, if you're looking for an approachable typeface that caters to a younger clientele, perhaps a few of these font choices might work. Just some small suggestions out there, as there are thousands upon thousands of fonts to choose from. Google Fonts is a great place to find free open source fonts. We'll talk about photo and font licensing a little bit later in the course, but just make sure you have the proper license for font usage, which will be for commercial use, as you're using it for a personal small business. As another quick reminder, all of the links, software, and external resources I mentioned in the class will be listed in the resource guide that is accessible in the beginning of the course as a downloadable Word doc and PDF. So some suggestions for you with the Font Styles Guide, but you'll know when you come across the right font for your personal brand. Some personal brands with taglines will want or need to use two different types of fonts. How do you know which two fonts pair well together? I've included another resource called the Font Pairing Guide, which gives you some general direction on pairing two different typefaces or fonts together in one logo. A few tips while you create your personal brand. Make sure that your font choice is very readable, and it's very easy for small text to get lost. And remember, your logo may have to be seen at small sizes on invoices, so make sure everything is readable at those small sizes. Try not to use too many font types. Try to keep it to 2 to 3 font choices at a maximum. Too many will overwhelm, and it could look a little unprofessional in some cases. Back when you're sketching out your logo, make sure you plan out your logo layout. Do you want to include an established date? Do you want to have a tagline? If so, what's it going to be? Do you want your title listed? Your full name including your middle name, or just your first and last name? The more you include, the more other logo types might work best for you. For example, a seal logo might work best for a freelancer, for example, who's including 3 different phrases in your main logo, like our example of Lillian Hernandez. You need to think about the logo's flexibility. Can it be seen very small, but can it look good in just one color? How does it look printed out? Now that you have a good basis of your basic logo design, now we're going to do some brand extension and take that logo design and put it on all sorts of items and really create an amazing brand presentation.